So now we will be starting the science talks. For those of you who would like to ask questions to the speakers, السادة الحضور اللي عايزين يسألوا أي أسئلة, please scan the QR code, and you will find a tab called Q&A. You can write down your question and send it directly. And after each speaker talk, we will be raising the questions. And it will be, the same tool will be used as well for the panel discussion. So if you have any question and you want to address it to a special scientist or a speaker, just write down whom exactly you're addressing the question. Okay, so this is regarding the Q's and A's. Let's start now with our first speaker, Dr. Ali Nabih al-Bahrawi. Dr. Ali is a professor emeritus of water resources management at Faculty of Engineering and Shams University. Dr. Ali executed many national and international projects with organizations from Egypt, Canada, Germany, the United States of America, the World Bank, and many more. He has a vast research, teaching, and training experience in areas of water resources, hydropolitics, computer modeling, operation researchers, education, soft skills, and intercultural communication. And Dr. Ali's talk will be about development and climate change in Egypt. So without further ado, Father Doctor.
I'm very pleased to talk to you today. My title is Development and Climate Change in Egypt. Yes, Egypt is working on climate change at different levels in preparation for the COP27, as mentioned before, to be held in Sharm el-Sheikh this November. All state-implemented projects like smart cities, roads, renewable energy, treatment plants, and national projects closely related to adaptation and dealing with climate change. I will start with a review of what happened in the Egyptian media regarding the mega projects. This, most of Mr. Ashraf, most of the clips comes from Al Ahram newspaper. This is the Prime Minister himself declaring the Egypt climate change strategy at the Nexus Water Food Energy Platform. This is the Minister of Environment, Dr. Yasmin, talking with her counterpart from Canada in Stockholm about the results of the Glasgow COP. This is the Ministry of Housing talking about challenges facing climate change and how to solve it using modern tools. This is the Minister of Electricity and Renewable Energy having some common projects with Australia in the area of green energy. This is Dr. El-Mashat herself, Minister of International Cooperation with Mr. Tony Blair, talking about green projects. Even the Minister of Youth is talking about an initiative called Youth and Climate, how to deal with nature. In Egypt, there is an initiative of planting 100 million trees. And this is a Supreme Committee led by Prime Minister arranging for the COP27. This is the President himself talking to the Forum for International Cooperation Development Finance, telling the audience that we have a lot of potential to provide clean energy and we have to support African countries. Now, I'm going to go through a hopefully pleasant tour through the mega projects in Egypt, and I will start with smart cities. A number of these, in Egypt, we introduced about 38 new smart cities, and some of these cities are near completion. We will mention only the new administrative capital in detail. These are the location of 20 of them. And you can see we have the new administrative capital in the desert here to the right, and then the new Alamein by the Mediterranean Sea. Now, this is how the new administrative capital look like. It's a green city in the sense that for each person has 15 square meters of green area, and it is sustainable city in the sense that sustainability is considered in energy and in recycling of waste. It's a walkable city where people can walk or use bikes, and it is connected where we can use trains, metro, tram, trolley, buses, and taxis. This beautiful map I got from Dr. Ayman Ashur shows the relation of mode of transportation with the intensity of population in the residential areas. And it's a very nice slide that will be a transition from talking about smart cities to talk about Egypt transportation network. Without transportation, there is no development. And this fact is as old as 312 years before Christ, where Rome's most enduring contribution to history is the roads, a vast interconnected network spanning about 322,000 kilometers. This is an Egyptian map for transportation. We are connecting very remote places like Marsa Matruh, like Port Said, places on the Red Sea, and even Aswan. And Egyptians, if you walk around, they use the metro and they use the microbus. But the microbus will not continue with us. Why? Because we are embarking on using 4 new modes of transportation: the monorail, the light rail transit LRT, the bus rapid transit BRT, and the high-speed train. This is the monorail, this is the LRT, this is the BRT, and this is the high-speed trains that can go as fast as 250 kilometers per hour. Now we move to largest agricultural wastewater treatment plant. This wastewater treatment plant is called Bahr al-Bakar, and it won 3 Guinness World Record certificates for being the largest capacity, for largest sludge treatment, and for the use of ozone for disinfection. This is where the plant is. The capacity of the plant is 5.4 million cubic meter per day, and it is used to irrigate about 400,000 agricultural land in Sinai. This is the Bahr al-Bakar drain. It is the longest and the most polluted in Egypt, but now, after the plant, we transform this disadvantage into a great opportunity for agricultural expansion. This is how the plant looks like. The other energy project is solar energy plant. Not only the largest wastewater, we have the largest also solar power plant. It's in a place close to Aswan called Bin Ban, and it is supposed to produce an energy equivalent to about 90% of what is produced from hydropower from the High Aswan Dam. This is the location of the Bin Ban, and this is how it looks like. Then we go to wind energy plants. I'm going to talk about Jabal al-Zayt, but recently Ras Gharib also won a prize for being the most recent plant, and we are supposed to generate 580 megawatts with a production of 2 megawatts per turbines, where the total number of turbines is 300. This is where it is located along the Suez, Gulf of Suez, along the Red Sea, and this is the plant. Canal lining. This is Ministry of Water Resources and Irrigation. We are planning to line 20,000 kilometers of irrigation canals and to save 5 billion cubic meter annually that is lost through filtration and evaporation. Egypt has a very intricate irrigation and drainage network. And what you see here is the boundaries of the directorates. If you are interested, this is a big problem calculating the water balance for each governorate because the boundaries of the irrigation and drainage directorates do not coincide with the administrative boundaries. And this is how a canal looks before and after lining. And because Egyptians are different, they added another recreational element to the canal by using it as a swimming pool. Now we go to rainfall harvesting, where we turn threats into opportunities by building obstruction dams to make use of the captured rainfall. Shore protection also, because we have around 3,200 kilometers of shores along the Mediterranean and the Red Sea. And this map shows how we classify risk on the northern coast. We have high risk, medium risk, and low risk. And this is a beautiful picture of Alexandria trying to protect the monument or the citadel by using hard structures. Here is an important thing in Egypt. We don't use hard structures, we use nature-based solutions. And these nature-based solutions are environment friendly, and it doesn't cost much. The most important that we use local experience to build such nature-based solutions. لو سمحت هنا يعني بالماوس بتاعك كده هتلاقي شغل الفيديو. Here is an interesting video, but because of this high technology, yes, I hope you can hear now.
One of the main breakthroughs over the past few years has been the realization that climate change, biodiversity loss, inequality, food insecurity were different dimensions of the same crisis. Here we are protecting the Nile Delta against the existing sea level rise. But with climate change, this phenomenon will continue. There are elements which are truly extraordinary in this project. The first thing is that we are speaking about ecosystem-based approaches. Rather than a concrete dam, we have basically used the power of nature to protect populations and natural resources. So it's much more cost-effective, but in addition, it's something that is living. An evolutive organic solution which is built on the knowledge of a local population.
How many engineers in the world have the modesty and the empathy to be able to start by asking the local population, how will you do it? I'm full of admiration.
And actually, visiting this site has filled me with a sense of wonder. There is nothing that's replaced the opportunity to discuss with the ultimate beneficiaries directly. So it's a wonderful example in this project. We are leveraging the power of nature, the knowledge we have acquired in terms of ecosystem management to avert catastrophic climate change.
I hope you like this. The last issue is green bonds. What is green bonds? Egypt is the first country in the Middle East and North Africa region to issue green sovereign bonds. This financing solution supports Egypt's Vision 2030, and it ensures access to clean drinking water and transportation through the use of monorail in Cairo. This beautiful map shows the locations of the many projects supported by the green bonds in the areas of desalination, green transportation, water treatment plant, sludge treatment facility. For our German guests here, one of the first international bank that supports the green bonds is Deutsche Bank. This is my conclude. To conclude, Egypt is working on different initiatives to combat climate change, adverse effects at all levels, including ministries, academia, NGOs, and the society at large. Egypt's new republic is embarking on several mega projects like smart cities, transportation, treatment plants, renewable energy, canal lining, rainfall harvesting, and shore protection. And all these mega projects take climate change into consideration. Thank you. خلصت في الميعاد ولا ايه؟
Thank you, Dr. Ali. We have two questions. I'll read it loudly here. The first one, just a second. Dr. Bahrawi, what's in your opinion, according to your opinion, what's the role of academia within the climate change and the projects that you have been highlighting? This is the first question.
Yes, actually, what we are doing now is part of this academia role, but I think we are revising our curricula at the Faculty of Engineering, especially in our department. We work in water-related problems, and we are injecting a lot of elements in our curricula that introduces our students to the problems of climate change and how we face it in Egypt.
Another question from Professor Ahmed Abdel Hafiz. He's thanking you for the presentation, and he's asking, is there any certified reports for negative impacts of climate change on agricultural soil in Egypt?
Yeah, with agricultural soil, my knowledge is a bit limited. What I knew about negative effects of climate change is the production of agricultural land and the shoreline retreat. And of course, the heat the heat waves and some of the flash floods. But with respect to soil, you have to ask our great professor, Dr. Ayman Abu Hadid.
The last question that we have, you have highlighted several projects in different disciplines. Should we be, the question is more or less about, should we focus on one step more or another, or what should be the first step to move forward?
Our first step is in all these projects. All the people responsible for all these projects are taking steps. You can check the internet, or you can listen to the news. You will find that the whole country now is working on climate change. For the people who know about climate change, and possibly for people who don't know anything about climate change.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.